Back at the beginning of the pandemic, when a lot of restrictions suddenly went into place and a lot of people lost their jobs because of it, a program was put into place to help them pay their rent. Now, almost 4 years later, a new audit from Oregon Secretary of State's office shows that the program here in Oregon had massive problems. The audit took a look at the Oregon Housing and Community Services Department. They were in charge of distributing $426 million in emergency rent relief money that came from the federal government. The program lasted from May of 2021 until June of 2023. Auditors found the agency cannot say for certain how much money even went to eligible applicants, or even how many applicants were paid, or how many households were helped. Yeah, it was that bad. Here's how it worked. If you lost your job because of the pandemic or had some kind of economic hardship, you'd apply online, tell them about your household and your income and where you live, and, well, then you waited. We talked to people who waited and waited and waited, some of them for months, waiting to find out if they were approved or not. If approved, money was sent to the applicant's landlord to pay for the rent. Over the years that the program was in place, the applications opened and closed depending on how much money was available, and we heard from a lot of people who worried about getting evicted. As the problems came to light, the Secretary of State's office ordered an audit in 2021 to find out what the heck is going on here. The auditors say Oregon Housing and Community Services had to scramble to put the emergency rent assistance program into place in a matter of months, and that they were simply not prepared at all. They say OHCS rushed to implement a software program that wasn't even finished yet in order to take the applications. They had poor customer service and communication challenges, and that they were understaffed with managers moving to different jobs and not enough full-time workers on the program. Not exactly a recipe for success. Simply put, the auditors wrote, OHCS was not prepared to respond to disaster housing emergencies despite its responsibility to do so under Oregon's emergency management framework. So take that in. The Oregon Housing and Community Services Department is our safety net to provide emergency housing during a huge natural disaster or crisis. And one thing the audit revealed, they were desperately unprepared to do that. One estimate shows about 176,000 households in Oregon were at risk of eviction in September of 2020. The audit shows that OHCS had a long backlog of applications and confirmed that some renters had to wait months to get the money that they needed. It also found that when that money did go out, the department did not always know if it was going to the right people. And they say they randomly tested 61 payments totaling more than $374,000. And guess what? They found out there were errors with 17 of those. So that's a 30% error rate. When they expand that and look at the entire program, the auditors estimate there could be as much as $11 million in payment errors. Some people getting too much, or the wrong person being paid, or some people who missed out on the money completely that they could have qualified for. The state auditor said the agency's numbers were so bad that they were issuing something called an adverse opinion for the first time in 25 years. That's audit speak to say the numbers are so fouled up, we just don't trust them. The auditor said that yes, 2020 was a difficult year for a lot of people with multiple emergencies happening all at once. But they said the department should have been better prepared, and that some of their problems uncovered by a different audit back in 2016 were still not addressed. The auditor said the office needs to get their you-know-what together because the pandemic will not be the last time we have to deal with housing emergencies. We could have wildfires, earthquakes, or other disasters at any time. OHCS responded saying, yeah, they're working on it. And they said OHCS remains focused on solutions to keep Oregonians stably housed before they experience homelessness and is committed to continual improvement. And they plan to implement some of the recommendations from the auditors. We certainly hope so.